I'm ready. Wait. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Walnut Lodge Volant. This is the 4:30. I even forgot what this was. Foundations. 4:30 foundations. So, this is kind of a, not kind of, this is a beginning class. Today I'm going to work on the back and a little bit of, well, actually the core. And this is going to go out to all of you guys who have back issues. I'm speaking especially to my sister. I'm hoping she's watching. Anybody that has disc problems, herniations, that kind of stuff, this kind of work we're going to do today is very useful. But we're going to start with a really fun pranayama called Brahmari, which is the bee's breath. And the reason why I picked it is because we could all use, more breathing capacity. And Brahmari is incredibly relaxing, and it forces you, or allows you, or causes you, if you don't like the word force, to increase the length of your exhales. So we are exercising our breathing apparatus while we're doing this. Plus, we're going to make a really interesting sound. So people out there that are singers, you understand a head voice and a chest voice. People that aren't singers, you know that you can make high sounds and low sounds, and sound is a vibration. So what we're going to do is we're going to make certain sounds and then raise and lower the pitch and change kind of the shape of our mouth to change the sound. And then that sound, depending on what the pitch is and depending on what you do with your mouth, you're going to be able to send that vibration, you'll feel that vibration rather, in different parts of your body. So you can do it sitting. I'm just going to slide off my mat here, and I'm going to put a pillow on my legs. You can also do this in an extended child, but for people in this class that I know, that is going to be a little difficult. So I'm going to give you a second to get a couple pillows. The other thing you could do is you could get a block. You could use a block. And the other thing you could do is use a rolled up towel. I had a rolled up towel out here, but I don't know what happened to it. So it would be nice too if you had some kind of strap before you start, a belt, a rope, anything is fine. All right, so I'm going to go back to this zabuton, this ancient zabuton, and I'm going to put my elbows on the zabuton, and I'm going to put my chin on the heels of my hand, and I'm leaning forward. If you have trouble, leaning forward because your hamstrings are super tight, then just go up a little higher so that you're sitting. You could also just grab a chair, sit, and put your elbows on your knees. The idea here is that you want to be able to rest your head and then let your chin reach forward. So I might just pitch forward a little bit. Now, you're going to take your finger and you're going to push your earlobe into your ear canal like this. So you're not going to really hear anything out from the outside, you're going to hear yourself. So I'm going to just demonstrate one breath, and then we'll go into it. So it's called Brahmari, and it sounds like the humming of bees. So what we're really going to do is we're going to hum. We're going to go. Now, your lips can be closed. They can be open. Sometimes if they're open, they'll tickle. You can change the shape of your mouth from the inside by opening and closing your jaw and keeping your lips together. And again, like I said, you could raise and lower the pitch. So I would put my earlobes here. Going to take a big inhale. That's it. I don't know if you could hear much. I mean, it's very loud for me. It's not really loud for anybody else. As soon as you finish with your breath, meaning you have no more air, you take another inhale, and then you exhale again, making the same sound or a different sound. Close your eyes and focus on the vibration of it and the sound of it. It's pretty absorbing, and so it's absorbing, so it's pretty meditative. All right, so our chin goes on our hand. We close off our ear canal by sticking the lobe in. Inhale, close your eyes, and off we go. Finish your last one. Come up to sitting and just drop your chin down. And then just feel the residual vibrations just going through your torso. And lift your head up. All right, I hope you found that interesting. Sound is a very powerful tool. We know that people use tuning forks and massage therapy now to kind of figure out what the resonant vibrations of the tissues are. That really helps them release. We all know what music does for us. So that particular pranayama is about giving you an opportunity to extend the breath, to extend the exhale, and so it increases your breathing capacity. And then the vibrations if you can figure out what vibration opens your sinuses, it can be very, very useful. All right, so we're going to spend most of this class kind of on the floor, and I'm using this semester, this quarter, to kind of start at the beginning and go through a lot of the core back stuff for foundations. That's not what I did last quarter. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to lay on our back, have a block or a rolled up towel. And another kind of useful thing is if you don't have a strap, you can use a stretchy band. So, there's a lot of these TheraBands that are already loops. You can have one of those. Anything will work, like I said. It can also be a belt. All right, so we're going to lay flat on our back. And just get a sense of what your spine feels like here. And then we're going to take a big inhale, push our belly towards our thighs. And then on the exhale, really push the air out, just like you did in the pranayama exercise. And allow that low back waist area to press into the floor. So inhale, let your belly go. Let it press towards your thighs. Exhale, press the waist. And just one more of those. What we're looking for is what are you doing with your stomach? Inhale. And then exhale. Press the waist. So on the exhale, you really engage a lot of your abdominals. You can engage just parts of all of them. And as you do that, your spine pushes into the ground. Your pelvis goes on a rotation into the ground, a posterior rotation. So by using the breath, we can move the back in ways that really can help the balance of our lower spine. So now what I want you to do is take your strap or your belt and just put it around your thighs. Okay, sorry, James moved that block because I forgot it was there. I'm going to move this way just a little bit more. I think you're going to be able to see a little bit more. So we're laying here and we're going to do that same thing. We're going to inhale. We're going to push our pelvis towards the block and push out on the strap. And then exhale, press your pelvis into the ground and squeeze your knees. So inhale, pelvis goes forward, push out on the block. Out on the straps. Exhale, pull the knees together, squeeze them, press your waist into the ground. And inhale, press out on the straps, push your pelvis towards your thighs. And exhale, pubic bone pulls to your rib cage, press that waist, and then squeeze your knees. Again, inhale, push out on the strap, pelvis to your thighs. And exhale, press your waist, squeeze your knees. 2 more. Inhale, push out, thighs open. Exhale, squeeze, waist, press. Last one. Inhale, push the pelvis and open. Exhale, press and squeeze. Pull the knees in. Just rock yourself a little side to side. Just feel the back of your sacrum. Now, pull. Pull your knees in. You feel that low back on the ground. Now, what I want you to do is pull with your stomach. Feel your pubic bone pulling towards your rib cage. So you can pull the legs, and then you can let go of your stomach. Your knees will kind of go back. And you can, or else you can use your arms, but don't use your arms. Pull your stomach, pull the pelvis towards your face, towards your chest, and then release. Pull them in. Now use your arms a little bit. Feel that pubic bone pulling to your rib cage. Feel that you're engaging that stomach. Now let go with your arms. So we're going to stay here, and your stomach should be working. So every time you exhale, try to pull your pubic bone a little closer to your chest. And that's going to just further engage those abdominals. So what we're working at here is we're trying to figure out how to use the abdominals and how to use the hip flexors. Right now, we're working on the hip flexors. So you're going to keep pulling, a couple more breaths, and then grab a hold of your knees, let go of your belly. And so what should happen there if you just let go of your belly is your back probably comes off the ground. The pelvis definitely changes position. All right, now, one of the problems that we have when we're working our stomach is sometimes we're working too much of our hip flexors. So, what are the hip flexors? Well, the hip flexors start on the inside of your thighs, run through the pelvis, and attach to the lumbars. And so when we're sitting in the chair, or actually just like this is a kind of a short position for the hip flexor, because imagine attached here on the inside of the thigh and then to the back. If I put my legs down and extend them, then I'm making that hip flexor a normal standing length. And then if my legs go past this position, if I'm standing or if I'm dropping my legs off of a table or something, then that hip flexor is going to go longer. Or if I'm on my knee, and we'll do that in a little bit. So pull those legs back up. Pull them in. Now take your shins and make them parallel to the ceiling. And we're going to just do what we did one more time. So pull your knees in. Feel your low back on the ground. If your waist comes off the ground at any time during this exercise, then what is happening is you're letting go of the muscles that we want to work, which is the abdominals. All right, so pull your knees in. Now activate your stomach. Pull your pubic bone towards your rib cage. Let go. Now your stomach is holding your pelvis, not your legs. So I can keep my stomach and my back where it is, and then I can start slowly moving my legs until my knees are over my hip sockets. Now I still have my back pressing into the ground. If I let go of my back, this is what happens. You can see my pelvis rocking forward. Now what's happening is that my legs are just being held by my hip flexors, and the hip flexors are pulling my low back off the ground. All right, so we're going to do that one more time. Shins are parallel. Pull them in. Pull your pubic bone towards your rib cage. Feel your waist on the ground. Make your stomach work. Let go. Keep holding that line. You have to breathe. So you can breathe and still hold that line. So pulling the pubic bone towards your rib cage. Relax your shoulders. Keep pressing your waist into the ground. That's kind of the cue for me always. Is I can just keep on every exhale, I keep pressing the waist into the ground. Now you can see I'm slowly releasing my legs forward so that now my knees are over my hip sockets. My waist is still pressing into the ground. Now if I keep going with my legs, either straightening the knees or keeping the knees bent and then letting them go down towards the ground, it's putting more weight on the system that I set up. So what we're doing is we're allowing the weight of the legs to try to pull the low back forward, while at the same time we are countering that with this upward pull of the stomach. So we are working the front of the body basically to hold the pelvis in place, which is what we want to do in all of our horizontal positions. So we're just going to stay here about another 30 seconds. So maybe your belly's already shaking. If it's really tired, just pull in. If it's okay, you can stay here, or you could go further. But every time you exhale, you're pressing that waist more deeply into the floor, or just making sure that that waist doesn't come off the floor. Just a couple more breaths. Now, if you have any problems at L4 or 5, if you change the position of your back, it will be not so pleasant. So kind of an injury like that really almost helps you keep position a little better. All right, just one more breath. Pull them in and then let them go. So let your back go. Just a couple of big inhales. Make sure your feet are as close as you can get to your hips. And then we're just going to take our legs and go right and center and left and center and right. This is the motion, center and left and center. Now, imagine your spine and your tailbone. So feel a straight line going down your spine and ending at your tailbone. And now I want you to just try to motivate this tilt right and left with your tailbone. So what I mean by that is, if you can imagine your tailbone moving to the right first and then letting the legs go, and then rotating your pelvis back to center using the tailbone. Now go to the left. First, try to imagine rotating your tailbone to the left, and then coming back, rotate your tailbone back to the center. So if that can work for you, use that image. Tailbone first, and then legs. Tailbone back to the center, and then legs. And tailbone to the left, and legs. Tailbone back to the center, and then legs. Now keep going. If you'll notice, I'm not going very far. This is all the farther you need to go. But if you want to go further, go ahead. If your back feels good, inhale, feel that rotation to the right. Exhale, come center. And then inhale, go left. Exhale, come center. I want you to do, I'm going to change the angle a little bit. I want you to do a couple of these. That's a really weird angle though. This is a new thing for me here today. So as you're going side to side, you're going to let your shoulder adjust. That's what I'm trying to show you here. When I first start doing these, I can't keep the shoulder on the ground. It just kind of comes up. But that's okay. Just go side to side, kind of, and enjoy it. Go as far as you can. And if it hurts when you get to like 45 degrees, then just stop. You have to just go to the edge of that discomfort if you have it. So just a couple more of these, side to side. I'm just going to go to the full motion. And then I'm going to try to see if I can just let the tailbone motivate and then the legs go. Couple more. And then go one more right. And one more left. All right, coming back to the center. One more thing here. So push that low back into the ground. Feel the pubic bone pull up. Feel your sit bones reach towards your knees, and then just let your pelvis come up to a straight line. Now, I'm not going past the straight line. So from the shoulders to the knees is a straight line. Push out on your strap, and then feel your sit bone and your tailbone reach towards your knees. The pubic bone is going to make the front line shorter by pulling up towards your rib cage, and your low back is going to continue to get longer because of this forward reach of the sit bones. You're pushing out on the strap, and that is making this pretty stable because now we've activated the side of our hips. So we're going to push up, feel your glutes, feel the hamstrings, relax your shoulders. Just going to take a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to sequentially roll down by releasing our upper back, our middle back, and then here's the trick. Keep your pelvis reaching up and try to touch the waist before you touch the sacrum, and then release it. And so for some of us, that's going to be a huge stretch. And I like that stretch because your abdominal muscles are doing it for you. So it's unlikely that you're going to overdo that because it's really your abdominal muscles kind of balanced against your low back muscles. So let's do a couple of those. So we'll take an inhale, exhale, press the pelvis, let the sit bones lift, and push up. Exhale and inhale, release, release, release. Exhale, push up. Inhale, release, release, release. Exhale, push up. Inhale, release down. Exhale, push up. Inhale, release down. Exhale, push up. Inhale, release. One more. Exhale, push up. Inhale, release down. Relax. Just a couple of breaths into your belly. And then rolling to your side and coming up. Unstrap yourself. All right, now we did that. That's the easiest way to feel what we're trying to feel. And now we're going to go to something that's a little more difficult, which is laying on your stomach and feeling that. Now, why we need to do this is because there's all of these horizontal positions in yoga. And we need to be able to control the back. So we have to develop an ability to pull the pubic bone and lengthen through the sit bones. I think you can see me doing that right now, but I'm up on my elbows. So we're going to do one exercise down in this position. So our head is going to be on our hands like this. But I'm going to change my orientation so that I'm here. Your feet are together. You don't really need to see my feet because there's not going to be a whole lot going on. But I want you to relax here. I'm going to keep my head up looking at the screen. And I want you to press your pubic bone into the ground and try to lift your waist up. Now your belly probably won't come off the ground. It could. But what happens is you see the change in my low back. So here I am with no support. I press my pubic bone and pull my stomach, and my low back flattens out. And also my glutes are going to work. All right, so what we're doing is using the same exact muscles that we used when we were on our backs. Same thing, different position, same pull. You don't have the floor to push into, so you just have to feel the change in your pelvis. But what we're doing all the time is we're going to a posterior pelvic tilt. That's what we're doing. And then we're just going to lay here and breathe so that you get used to breathing without letting your belly go. Now, belly breathing is very important, but not in this particular case. In this case, you want to feel the upward pull of the abdominals. You're still going to do a diaphragmatic breath, but you're going to feel it more in your rib cage and your back. All right, so head down. Press your pubic bone. Drive your sit bones. Lift your stomach. Hold that and just breathe. Keep breathing. Keep reaching your sit bones, pulling your stomach. Keep that low back long. Every time you exhale, pull your stomach again and reach your sit bones. If you might lose it. Sometimes you can't keep a hold of it the whole time. If your abdominals are really weak, it's really hard to hold this position. This is a very interesting little exercise because the idea of it is to keep the position while you find a way to breathe into it. And you can see my mid-ribs working to breathe, just moving sideways. I'm trying to push my breath a little bit more to the side. Just a couple more. And release that. Turn your head to your side and just let the breath happen normally. So as I breathe here, I'm letting my belly push into the ground. And I've let my back go. And so then you see the breath just reflected in my back. We want this. This means that I'm not holding on anywhere. That my back is mobile, elastic. That's what we're going for. To let the breath, we're trying to allow the breath to reflect through that spine. All right, now we're going to take this to the next level. And we're going to put our hands in the Sphinx posture. So here I am in Sphinx. My elbow is underneath my shoulder. My hands are forward. So I'll come this way and I'll do the same thing. So my elbows are here, my hands are here. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe I'll creep back a little bit. Yeah. All right. So I haven't done a class on the floor yet. I still haven't kind of figured out this camera angle. All right. So we're going to turn. I'm going to turn. We're going to have this Sphinx posture. And then we're just going to relax. So I'm dropping my shoulders down. I'm letting my head drop. I'm letting my back go. Now, if your back doesn't feel good in this position, pull your stomach up, take your sit bones into the backs of your legs and make your low back longer. So you'll have to hold on to your stomach here. If you're okay, just let everything go. Now, so we're here. On the inhale, just push your spine up through your shoulder blades. And exhale, relax down. Inhale, push up. Exhale, release down. Couple more. Feeling your shoulder blades move. On this inhale, your shoulder blades are going to the side, making that upper back nice and wide. When you exhale, the shoulder blades are squeezing together as you drop. Inhale, you're pushing up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale, releasing down. Just 2 more of these. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, push up. Now stay here. Feel your hands, feel your elbows. Feel that upper back pushing to the ceiling through your shoulder blades. All right, so this is the position of the upper back. Now what we're going to do is take your pelvis up and then tuck your tailbone. Actually, you're going to take your tailbone and just reach it to your knees. And then you're going to pull your pubic bone up into your spine. So my low back is long. My butt is not sticking up. Here, I've lost my abdominals completely. There's no abdominals here. Here, I have my stomach. And gravity is pulling me down towards the ground. And I'm resisting with this push of the elbows and that upward pull of my stomach. So we're just going to stay here breathing. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale, pulling your pubic bone. Inhale, up. Exhale, pubic bone. You should feel your stomach, especially right above your pubic bone, low. That's mainly where we're working. Inhale, up. Exhale, pull. Inhale, up. Exhale, pull. Inhale, up. Exhale, pull. One more. Inhale, up. Exhale, pull. Now release your pelvis down. And then take your hands back and turn your head to the other side. Take a couple of breaths. Just stay there. I'm getting up. Just sitting. Just stay in that nice long line. What time is it, James?
It's 5:07.
Okay, so we're in this nice line, and now what we're going to do is just add the cobra to this. So the cobra is a really wonderful posture for integrating back line, but I really like to teach it with this with the pelvis pressing into the ground like we did in this first exercise. That isn't the pelvis position in the first exercise and the second exercise, which was second posture, which was the plank, the Sphinx plank. It's the same thing, just two variations of the same musculature that, what do I want to say? The muscular engagement. It's the same thing. All right, so you guys are already laying down on your spine. On your belly. You have nice long legs. And what I want you to do is come back up into the Sphinx. And then slide your hands forward so that the lower ribs are on the ground and your hands are reaching forward. So I would be here. You can see my hands. All right. So what we're going to do, I'll just demonstrate it here first, is we're going to inhale and you're going to try to pull your hands back into your shoulders and your chest will come up. And then exhale, you're going to pull your tailbone and you'll go down. So you're going to pull. Your hands aren't going to move much, but what's going to happen is your upper back is going to engage as the shoulder blades pull down. So you feel like your chest is trying to pull through the arms, or you feel like you're trying to pull your body along the floor. Excuse me, but you're not really going to go anywhere. So that's the action. From the side, it looks like this. So I'm going inhale, inhale, pull. Now the exhale part of it, inhale, chest forward, blades back. Exhale, take your tailbone and reach it towards your feet, lift your stomach up. Inhale, chest forward, blades back. Exhale, reach your tailbone towards your feet. Inhale, chest forward, blades back. Exhale, tailbone reaches to your feet. Inhale, chest forward, blades back. Exhale, reaches to your feet. Couple more. Inhale, chest forward, blades back. Exhale, tailbone reaches. Keep going with this. Couple more breaths. What you want to feel is that you're trying to move your skeleton through the container of your muscles and connective tissue. So I'm using the exhale to pull myself back, inhale to pull myself forward. And as we relax, there's more motion, and what we're doing is lengthening and loosening the connections of the spine and the low back. Couple more. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And release this. We're going to release it by pressing back to a child pose with your knees open. So just sitting back, head down. I'm going to turn. You can have your hands back here if you want, or out in front. And then roll yourself up. And I want you to grab a block if you have it. It could be a rolled yoga mat. You could even have a pillow of some sort. And we're going to put this just here on our, kind of right below our shoulder blades. So I'll give you a minute or so to just get something underneath your upper back. So you want it to be at the level of your shoulder blades. And then my head is going back to the ground. If you don't like that, your neck doesn't like that, you can put your head on a pillow or another block. Towel is good. So we're just opening the shoulder blades, or actually the chest, sorry, by laying on the shoulder blades. I'm going to put my head back here. Actually, I'm going to put it back here so I can talk a little bit better. And what I want you to do right now is on the inhale, take your ribs and try to push them up to the ceiling. So I'm going to inhale and move my ribs. Inhale, move the ribs. Keep going with your own timing. Because what I want you to feel is as you try to move those ribs up towards the ceiling, your back muscles contract. Now, if you pull your shoulder blades down at the same time that you push your ribs up, you really feel your mid-back. So take your hands up, interlace. Pull your arms back as far as they'll go. They might touch the ground, maybe not. Doesn't matter. Inhale, push your ribs up, and pull your shoulder blades down. Exhale, push your shoulders up to your ears. So inhale, pull. Exhale, push. Couple more. Inhale, pull. Exhale, push. Inhale, pull. Exhale, push. Keep going. This is the exact same thing we just did on the ground. So on that exhale, you can feel your low back kind of moving, your sacrum moving towards the ground. We've basically done the same thing all class. Just mobilize the spine using these very simple exercises. Just a couple more. Inhale and exhale. The last one. Inhale and exhale. Release the arms down and then just let yourself breathe normally. Now we're going to roll off of whatever we're on to the right. So I want you to start out just laying down here like this. So we're long. Now, for people that have the back issues, just go slow. So what I want you to do is you're stacked. What I mean by that is your hip is over your hip, your ribs are over your ribs, your knees over your knee. Put your left hand here and then just slowly come up onto your elbow. Don't release your shoulder here. Well, actually you can. You can feel the ribs in the serratus stretch, but I want you to push down and I want you to feel that. So what we're doing is we're starting a stretch of the quadratus. So for some of you, you don't feel anything here. I don't feel anything here. So you have to go up to here. So from here, put your hand on the ground, and then you can move and make sure that you're stacked. Now I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see what I'm talking about here. There's my feet, and you can see my feet, my knees, my hip, my shoulder. As I come up, feet, knees, that's kind of a strange looking angle, right? But I'm in a line, and that's going to get the quadratus, which is this muscle that goes from the back crest of your hip to your ribs. So we're stretching it on the lower side. So either here, could be in between, you could come all the way up to here. Now, keep the shoulder blade pressing down. You should be able to feel your shoulder blades pretty clearly by now because of all the work we just did. And then right here, right where your hip crest is kind of into your waist, I want you to try to breathe there. Couple more. And then slowly slide out. and roll to the other side. I'm just going to shift so that I can So we start out flat, stack yourself, come up to your elbow, release the shoulder, feel what that is like, and then pull it back down. If you don't feel enough of a stretch there, come on up. Try to keep yourself from piking back with the hips. So gotta stay stacked. Breathe. This side on me is way tighter than the other side. It's really hard for me to get a nice drop there. Keep pressing down through your arm so that you don't collapse the shoulder. So yoga has a bunch of postures. We're doing kind of breakdowns of things so that you can proceed from now through this quarter with some tools that will allow you to negotiate some back issues. And again, if you guys have questions or specific issues, I'm more than happy to answer. You just need to text me right after this class. Just a couple more here. So I always tell my students to wait for it. Put yourself in a position, start breathing, and then just watch. Watch and feel what's going on. And things will start to change. Just a couple more breaths. And then slowly we slide down, and we're going to roll onto our back. Time, James?
It's 5:22.
So let's go back to kind of one of the things we started with. I just want you to rock your knees back and forth. Now we don't have the strap on, so it's going to be a little different. You can let the legs work independently, just on your own timing. Let them drop to the sides and pull them over. Not a big deal. Feels good. One more. And then roll to your side and come up. All right. That angle. All right. So we're going to come to sitting on our heels. Some of us can't do this. So let's start here, and then just go back as far as you can go, and then push yourself forward, and go back, and push yourself forward, and go back, and push yourself forward. One more time. Go back as far as you can. Now, if you are able, then just come up here. If you're not able, just keep yourself pitched forward. Come back up. Now, I want you to tuck your toes under. We're going to do the same thing. So it's going to be different for different people. I'm going to tuck my toes under. So for some people, this might be it. You feel that stretch through the foot, through the plantar fascia into your legs. Come up. And again, go back. And come up. And go back. Push your heels a bit. And come up. And one more. Go back. If you can. If you're good, push back. So we're in a squat with our heels up. Just going to hang here. Hands down. Just let your low back drop. Excuse me. I need a glass of water. So you're just releasing into your hips. It's a little bit more than a child pose. And come down. Extend your toes. Come to sitting if you can. And we'll just do that one more time. This time I'm going to change my facing. We're going to open our knees a little bit. Tuck your toes. Now, if you can't, because of your knees, then you're just going to be here. That's okay. Get the foot stretch. That's mainly what it's about. If you can walk yourself back to here, be here. And then move your hands to the inside, and then just let your knees go a little bit. And then come down. Your knees will be open. Sit back. So your knees are open. Now, I could be way up here. And all we're going to do is just rocking back and forth. Thank you. Just inhale forward, exhale back, inhale forward, exhale back, just a couple more, inhale forward, exhale back. Now, move your right knee, wiggle this left leg back, and then we're going to lay down here and go off to the left. Stay up on your elbows. Drop your head. So in this position, we're stretching the hip flexor of the back leg. It's not a huge stretch, but you can feel it open. Now if you want more stretch, you just come up onto your hands. For some of us, you're not going to be able to do that. Remember, I started off the class saying that this is for people that have back issues. So for some of you, this is going to be it. That's okay. Now rock yourself back to center. Come up. And other leg. So creep that right leg back. Get as far back as you can, and then just lay that right hip down. Keep your elbows down. Relax into that left hip and feel that stretch from the back thigh across the front of your pubic rim, kind of into your back, into that lumbar. And like I said, you can come up higher if you want more. So that would be here or here. Just wait for it. I'm just going to go back down. You can drop your head. And then roll yourself back center. Creep this leg in. And coming down onto your backs. One last time. So feel your pelvis. Now pull your pubic bone towards your rib cage. And slide just your right leg out, push through the heel, and feel this stretch. It's going to be very subtle. Then let go of your pelvis and pull it. So now you kind of have an idea of how to adjust the back just by using your stomach. It doesn't have anything to do with your legs really. Pull that back in, press that low back, pubic bone pulls up, slide that left leg out, stretch through the heel, feel the stretch across that pubic rim and the hip, pull the pelvis, let go, feel the difference, pull the pubic bone up, slide it back in, feel the low back, and then you can either take corpse here, arms to the side, let your knees just be here, or if you're good, slide them long. Take time, James.
It is 5:13.
Relax your shoulders. Slowly roll yourself to your right side and press yourself up to sitting. All right, so that's it for Foundations First Day. That goes out to Darlene and Luane. So hopefully that helped you guys. And join me next week. I'll keep adding to this. It's a lot of core. It's a lot of techniques. All right, thank you for watching, and namaste.